This report is insane. Recently, it was announced that Zion Williamson has left CAA. Now, I know what you're thinking. He's from the New Orleans Pelicans and he left CAA. What does that have to do with the Knicks? If you look a little closer into those reports, you'll see that one of the reasons he left CAA is because he wanted to join the Knicks, but CAA could not get it done. We're going to break down all of these latest reports and so much more today. But before we get started, guys, about 55% of you watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel. We have a mission to try to get to 20,000 subscribers, and we could really use your support. If you enjoy content like this and you like daily Knick updates, please consider hitting that subscribe button because it could really support all the great content that we're creating for you. And now, let's get started. Insane report. Zion leaves CAA for not being able to land with the Knicks. This is something I never thought I would be covering right now. It seems like every time I look at another report, another star or superstar wants to join the Knicks. At one point a few weeks ago, it was Giannis. And now all eyes are on Zion Williamson and him leaving CAA. And according to NBA insider Chris Persiani, one of the reasons he left CAA is because they were not able to get him on the Knicks. And if you follow Zion over the course of his career, you know, ever since the day he was drafted, he wanted to play at MSG. He wanted to play for the Knicks. And since CAA was unable to get that done, and probably a lot of other factors as well too, but not being able to land with the Knicks was definitely part of it. Due to all of this, he left CAA. Let's break down these latest reports from NBA insider Chris Persiani on exactly why Zion chose to leave. According to him, sources familiar with the situation tell Clutch Points that the New Orleans Pelicans power forward Zion Williamson split from agency CAA was the result of two main factors: his contract situation and the agency's failure to land him in New York, specifically with the Knicks. Now, obviously, that's not the full report, so we did a little bit more digging and we got a lot more information. Let's break down that as well too. Shout out to Chris Persiani for giving us the following information. According to him, the interesting thing about Williamson's decision to change agencies is that the Knicks themselves indirectly played a role in the split between the Pelicans forward and CAA. Even before the 2019 NBA draft lottery sealed Williamson's fate as the Pelicans' #1 overall pick, he had long made it clear to the agency that he wanted to play in New York. After beginning his career in New Orleans, Williamson expected more from his representation in regards to pursuing a trade to New York. This was one of the two driving factors that resulted in the split. This is a massive report. I cannot believe what I just read there. Zion Williamson wanted to be traded to the Knicks, tried to push for a trade for the Knicks, tried to get CAA to handle that to get him in New York, but they could never get a deal done. Now, I don't know how much you can blame CAA for that because Zion Williamson himself has been dealing with a number of issues, a number of injuries. At any point in time, if you were the Knicks or any team in the league, if you see a player going through all of those issues, having all of those injuries, it's likely you're not going to want to trade for that player anyways. So I'm sure it was not only CAA that had a problem here. I'm sure Zion Williamson and all the things he was dealing with, all the injuries he had, also played a part for him not being traded to New York. But it's very, very important to understand here that Zion wanted to come to New York, and the fact that he didn't come to New York and the fact that he doesn't like his contract situation right now, those were the two main factors that pushed him to leave CAA. Now, normally, we would never be talking about this because, again, he plays for the Pelicans. The Knicks were never going to trade for him. We're not going to trade for him now. Nothing like that at all. But after hearing that another superstar is attracted to New York, attracted to the Knicks, wanted to come to the Knicks, tried to push to get here, I don't know about you guys, but this would have never happened 5 years ago, 7 years ago. But now, fast forward to this year, we have reports potentially on if Giannis does want to leave Milwaukee. One of the places he wants to go is New York. Now, maybe that's Brooklyn, maybe that's the Knicks. We don't know. But the fact that he wants to go to New York because he likes the market, that means a lot. Zion, the fact that he left CAA, one of the major reasons he left was because they were unable to get him to one of the major markets he wanted to get to, New York. Before he even was drafted and knew who was going to draft him, he knew he wanted to play with the Knicks. That was something that he desired. And when he knew it was in the realm of possibility, he started to hope. He started to pray for it. He started to wish for it. But unfortunately for him, it did not work out in his favor, and he turned into a New Orleans Pelicans. Looking back at everything, it actually worked out for the Knicks in every single way. Can you imagine if we drafted Zion, had to pay him max dollars? He had to go through all of these injuries, never healthy. Can you imagine how badly New York would have gone at him, attacked him, made sure he knew that he was an injury-prone player? And Zion Williamson, no matter how good he plays, whenever you need him the most, in the playoff moments, he's just not there for you. Or if he is there for you, he doesn't look 100%. And that's always going to be an issue. And it seems like, given the fact that he's injured right now and we have no idea of a time frame for him and when he's going to return, I would say that calling him injury prone is actually being kind right now, because the number of injuries he's been dealing with, everything he's been going through, the fact that he has no timetable now for return. I am so happy the Knicks didn't draft him. I'm so happy the Knicks didn't trade for him, didn't attempt to trade for him, and only checked in on him. And we avoided a colossal mistake, because if we drafted Zion, we would look like the Pelicans right now. I'm not talking about all the injuries they're dealing with. I'm talking about this entire Zion Williamson situation. Again, people do argue that situations could change how his career went, how he felt, how he progressed in training, how he went in terms of practice, how he treated training and things like that. Maybe that's true, but as of right now, we'll never know that. The only thing we know is who Zion Williamson has shown us to be over the last few years. And I'm sorry to say it, all he's shown us to be is an injury-prone player that cannot show up when you need him the most. Continuing here, Chris Persiani states the following. Since the deal was initially signed, Williamson has gained a greater understanding of how his contract was structured and the various clauses involving his weight that make said deal not fully guaranteed moving forward. Both the agency's perceived inability to land the forward in New York City, as well as Williamson's understanding of his contract situation, pushed the relationship to a point where the parties felt the divorce was the best resolution. Aside from the connection to the Knicks, Williamson's contract was another element in the deterioration of the relationship between the two sides. So we have to remember, there are two reasons why Zion left CAA. His contract is terrible. It's atrocious, and he'll never get the max. But also, he wanted to join the Knicks. That's all we have to mention. That's all we have to say. We just have to make sure we're clarifying it. Another superstar in Zion Williamson, whether you want to call him a broken superstar, a wannabe superstar, a would-be superstar if he didn't have the injuries, whatever the case may be. A lot of the league still considers him a superstar, so we're going to call him that. That superstar in the Pelicans organization wanted to be traded here. Reports are indicating that Giannis, if he could go somewhere, would like to go to New York. Players, MVP-like players, superstar-like players want to come to New York, want to play for the Knicks. I've been alive for a long time. I've watched basketball for a long time, and I've watched this team for a long time. I've never seen the amount of reports indicating so many superstar players want to come to the Knicks, want to come to New York. If this doesn't tell you that Leon Rose has built the Knicks back from laughingstock all the way up to championship contender, I don't know what else will. Shout out to Leon. Shout out to the Knicks front office. And also, shout out to the basketball gods for allowing us to avoid Zion Williamson and have the roster we have right now. Because I think I speak for many, many Knicks fans when I say we avoided a colossal disaster by not drafting Zion Williamson. And I am so happy to say that. But what about you guys? What do you think about this insane report indicating that one of the main reasons Zion Williamson split from CAA was because he could not land with the New York Knicks? Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.